Yeah, in this session, we're going to understand how instruction is going to be executed within the CPU. Because you people already knew that a program is a set of instructions which is going to be available and stored in the main memory, right? So if you want to execute a program, the instructions of the program must be fetched by the CPU one by one, and CPU should be able to execute the instructions. So, uh, what are the different phases of this instruction? What are the different operations that are going to be performed by the CPU during the instructions execution? We are going to understand in this video. Okay, now let us see and recollect what we have discussed in the register organizations. If you could remember, we are in fact designing a computer system. In the computer system, we have already designed the register sets. Okay, in designing the register sets, we defined our main memory. Our main memory size is 4096 words. Okay, and if it is 4096 words, the address part must be equal to 12 digit. Address part will be here. We require an address part to address every location. Address part must be equal to 12 digits because 4096 words will be equal to 2 power 12. So address part must be equal to 12 digits. So between 12 zeros to 12 ones, any address in the main memory can be located. Okay, and the architecture size that we used is 16-bit architecture. If it is a 16-bit architecture, one location should be equal to 16 digit. Inside the memory, inside every word, I need to have a 16 digit word should be made available. The word should be equal to 16 digit. For every location, there is a 16 digit word. Okay, now let us see how an instruction is going to look like. Once again, my main memory size is equal to 4096 words, in which the address part should be equal to 12 digit, in which the address part should be equal to 12 digit, and the data part should be equal to 16 digit. My data part is 16 digit and my address part is 12 digit. Now, let us talk about the instruction. How are we going to design an instruction? What should be the size of the instruction? Size of the instruction should be equal to 16 digit. Why the size of the instruction should be 16 digit? Because one word size in the main memory is equal to 16 digits. The instructions are going to be stored in one word each. One instruction requires one word each. There is a small exception for this in the advanced computer architectures that we are going to discuss later. But now try to understand. In order to store an instruction, I do require a word to be stored. What is the size of the word? Size of the word is equal to 16 digits. Hence, the size of the instruction should also be equal to 16 digits. So here we understood that the size of an instruction is equal to 16 digits. Okay. Now, if you we are designing a single accumulator organization, right? In the initial videos, I told you that we use single accumulator organization as we are designing a basic computer. Okay, so in the single accumulator organization, how the instruction is going to be designed, let us stay focused and understand. Okay, what is the size of instruction? Size of the instruction is equal to 16 digits. Then how the instruction is going to look like in the single accumulator organization? Of course, instruction size is equal to 16 bits, and in an instruction I am going to have three different fields. First field is first field is the mode field. What is a mode field? We discuss later. Second field is opcode field. First section or field is the mode section or mode field. Second one is the opcode field. Third one is the address of the operand field. We will discuss about this mode later. Let us talk about this opcode and operand. Every instruction need to have an opcode and an operand, right? Let us understand these two fields. This opcode is going to specify the operation that is needed to be performed to execute the instruction. Every instruction will have a specific opcode. These opcodes could be addition or subtraction or multiplication or division or anything. Okay, so that is required because an operation needed to be performed every time you're executing an instruction. That operation will be getting represented in this opcode field. Opcode is going to represent the operation that is going to be performed in executing these instructions. Okay, this opcode is of 3 bits. This opcode is of 3 bits. So it is evident that by using 3 bits, how many opcodes can be constructed? By using 3 bits, I can construct 8 opcodes because 3 bits will give you the combination from 000 to 111, right? I will write it here. By using 3 digits, the combinations are possible: 000, 001, 010, 011, 100, 101, 110, 111, 111. So these are the opcodes. These are the different opcodes that are possible for our system. 000 to 111. How many opcodes are there? There are 8 combinations. Each combination will represent one of the opcode. Maybe 000 for addition, 001 for subtraction, like that. Okay. We will discuss about these opcodes in the machine language instructions section. Okay. Now let us understand in the instruction, which is equal to 16 digits. I do have 3 different fields. First field is a mode field. Second one is an opcode field. Third one is an address part of the operand. What is the opcode? Opcode is going to represent the operation that is needed to be performed here. Opcode is of 3 digits. Okay. If it is 3 digits, I can have 8 different opcodes. One can be represented here. Okay. So if it is 000, then some operation is going to be performed. If it is 100, one more operation is going to be performed. Likewise. The third important field is address of the operand. What is this address of the operand? Try to understand. In order to perform an operation, I do require some operands, right? Yes or no? That is, when we want to perform an operation, I need to require an operand. How many operands we do generally require? For performing any arithmetic operation, I do require 2 operands. 2 operands are required. One operand will be shown as a part of the instruction. This address of the operand is going to specify one operand. Okay. In the single accumulator organization, within the instruction, we can have one operand. Okay. What is the second operand? Second operand is the implicit operand, that is accumulator. Once again, in the single accumulator organization, one operand in order to perform the operation is available within the instruction. Second operand is always the accumulator. Okay. If you want to perform an addition, addition should be performed in between the operand which is specified in the instruction and the accumulator register's contents. The operand which is specified in the instruction will be added to the contents of the accumulator. Okay. This is how the instruction gets designed in the single accumulator organization. The number of bits in the instruction is equal to 16, and we do have 3 different fields. First one is a mode digit. I'm not talking anything about the mode digit right now. Second one is the opcode digit. And the third one is address of the operand. This address of the operand is going to specify one of the operands. And second operand is always accumulator. Okay. This way, the instruction is going to be designed within the single accumulator organization. Okay. Try to understand an important thing here. In the single accumulator organization, we have only one operand within the instruction. So these instructions are called one address instructions. I will write it here. Insert text box. One address instruction. What is one address instruction? This one address instructions will have only one operand within the instructions. Single accumulator organization instruction supports only one operand in the instruction, and second operand is always accumulator. For that reason, we will call these instructions as one operand instructions or one address instruction. Either way you call it. Okay. Now, the next thing that we're going to understand is how this instruction is going to be fetched, decoded, and executed. Okay. In the very next video, we are going to understand how an instruction is going to be fetched by the CPU, and it is going to be decoded by the CPU and executed by the CPU.